Hello, and tonight we're gonna do some bush astrophotography, which I suppose is like normal astrophotography, but inside of a bush. The last few days it's been snowing quite a bit, so yesterday in the evening I had to go out and sort of shovel out my spot, which was kind of a pain, but well, you just gotta do what you gotta do. Tonight we'll be focusing on the Orion constellation. I have been looking forward to doing a lot of the objects in this since I started this whole astrophotography thing little under a year ago. So tonight my plan is to try and do the Orion Nebula. Yes, I know, very original. And hopefully, if I get the chance, the Horsehead Nebula. These are the first clear skies that we've had in a while, so I'm gonna make the best of it. I have a feeling it might be a case of trying to shoot in between clouds because over the day it's been kind of coming and going, the odd cloud, that kind of thing, but I'll do what I can do. Of course, as is always the case with this hobby, the minute you get your gear and everything set up, which I did a month ago, finally got everything finalized, got my guiding set up, my dew armor set up, and then it's cloudy for the next month and a half, but I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who can relate to that. So hopefully tonight will work out, but I'll see you out there.
The Orion Nebula, aka Messier 42, aka NGC 1976, is sort of the great cliche of astrophotography, or at least that's what I've learned from my short time being an astrophotographer. That said, it certainly gets that reputation for a reason, being that whenever the right time of year comes around and you slew that scope over towards the Orion constellation just below his belt, well, for us northern latitude people anyways, your first exposure never disappoints. Orion is a diffuse nebula and the closest star-forming region to the Solar System. Visible to the naked eye under ideal conditions, it is an estimated 24 light-years across and has a mass of around 2,000 suns. And please don't go check how similar that first sentence is to the wiki page. Part of the much larger Orion molecular cloud complex, the Orion Nebula is basically an area of this larger cloud where a cluster of young powerful stars, known as the trapezium, have blown this dust and gas out, forming a dimple in the larger structure. This star cluster then lights it up while ionizing various elements in the cloud, creating the beautiful dance of gas, dust, brown dwarfs, protoplanetary disks, and stars that we'll be imaging tonight if all goes to plan, or at least more or less to plan, preferably more than less, right? Let's get back to Earth.
Are you going to focus on my face? Probably not. Well, I've gotten everything set up. Basics, Skywatcher 200p, Canon T4i, Skywatcher HEQ5, and that's about it. There are a few things, like about this power box. I'll go over that kind of thing in more detail at a later time. And it's really dark. It's probably why it's not focusing on my face. Hoping that my laptop light will illuminate me a little bit. I can see, looks like a planet, but to be honest, I thought Saturn and Jupiter were long gone for the year and too early for Mars. Unless it's just a really frickin' bright star. You know, something seems a bit odd about this. Oh right, my computer has a light on it. There we go, sort of light. I don't see if there's anybody. Don't really want to Look like I'm crazy talking to myself. Snowed about, I don't know, 15 centimeters last night. So yesterday I came here to shovel this area clear. However, I think I did something to my back, which isn't very fun for tonight. Anyways, if you're curious, we are in Bortle Class 4 skies at the moment, 49 degrees north, and it is January 16th. Now, I just want to take a quick look at the sky conditions, which are still looking meh, but better than nothing. That must be, oh, it is Venus. The doy. Okay, so I'm currently got the imaging going. The Orion Nebula looks quite nice tonight. Now there's a few kinks I've been trying to sort out because I'm still new at this. I am having an issue with, it's my mic, yes, apologies for the noises. My guiding, the stars look very fuzzy and it is focused. It is all focused in, but for some reason the stars look quite fuzzy. The lens, it doesn't have dew on it. I do have a dew heater on. Not really sure what that's, oh yeah, and look at that beautiful guiding. At least it's working. Although I am having some technical difficulties with this camera, so sorry about the spooky face thing. As you just saw, I've currently been clouded out. However, to the west it is looking pretty good, so I think it'll clear eventually. I am really hoping I can do both the Orion Nebula and the Horsehead tonight, but we'll see. Boy, do I ever need to sort out a lighting thing if I continue to do this in the future. Sit right for problems I've had tonight. I did show you the thing with the guiding. If anyone has any solutions for that, please leave it in the comments. I have found that I'm using a new camera. I used to use the camera that I'm filming on right now, but I got a T4i to do astrophotography with. However, I've noticed the images look a bit funny, but maybe that is just something that will get sorted out in the processing. We'll see. Things are looking pretty good though, so hopefully when these clouds clear, I can get back on track. It's dark. Ooh. Oh yeah. Also, I really need to get a dew heater for the camera. Right, well, I managed to jerry-rig the thing that I plan on using to do the flats. So I thought I'd stop a bit. Now, unfortunately, I am having a bit of an issue with frost all over my work area. I usually use a, it's like one of those things that you put in a car window on a hot day. It's got felt, the reflective material. Put it on top of my area, usually does a charm. However, forgot it today. Telescope is running well. The guiding is sketchy. I'm still going to have to sort that out in the future. I've lost count of all the people who come by who have no idea what the hell someone's doing out here with a laptop in the middle of the night. Because obviously in the dark you can't see the telescope. And I don't want any light on the telescope. You know, this thing works, I was going to say it works pretty well for lighting, but no, that's not true whatsoever. Anyways, I'm sure this is my first video for this channel, and what I'm sort of hoping to do with this channel is just let you guys in on my journey into astrophotography, because I'm new at this. There's a lot of people who I've watched on YouTube who have inspired me to do this, that I can do this. I've always wanted to do something with telescopes for a long time, but now I finally took the opportunity, and I certainly am not regretting it, although the past month and a half of cloudy nights was a bit of a pain in the ass. Anyways, right now I am on exposure 62 out of 120. Oh hey, the facial recognition is actually working. If you want to know the specifics, I'm doing ISO 800, at 90-second exposures. I could do more, but Orion's pretty damn bright and my telescope is quite large. If you're wondering about the specs, I know I said it earlier, 8-inch primary mirror, focal length 800. So it's I know Astro Backyard and his refractor bias would have recommended I get a refractor. I know, I'm just kidding around. But I felt that the Newtonian was the best fit for me and I haven't regretted it. Obviously you have things you need to deal with, like getting a coma corrector, but you've got to get a reducer or whatever for a refractor anyways, so whatever. Well, now it's just a matter of sitting around listening to some music and letting the camera do its thing. Ooh, I am the ghost of Christmas past. Well, I'm back out here again. It is the 1st of February 2020, a week or so after the last time I was out. Now, I did process all the images or the exposures I got last time, but my guiding was sort of all over the place, so I need to remember to look into the camera. Getting used to this. And stop saying Steven. Anyways, yeah, it did look pretty nice, but the stars were a bit, there wasn't trailing, but they just were a little bit misshapen. So I'm going to redo this tonight. Now, my plan is to do 20 15-second exposures, 20 30-second exposures. I'm not 100% sure whether I'm going to do 40 90-second or 40 180-second, but I'm definitely going to try and do 20 300-second exposures because my tracking is working pretty well. So I've got everything set up. I just need to do the I got the pole master. It's a master of poles. Like, the thing's freaking great. I love it. It's amazing how sensitive those camera sensors are. When I was doing the polar alignment, I kept seeing satellite zipping by. Well, at the moment, before I start on Orion, because I want to wait till it gets to around 25 degrees in the sky, so less atmosphere to shoot through. Not that it goes particularly high in the sky in the first place, but yeah, taking these lunar images. It is a moonlit night, but I figured, well, Orion is bright as all fuck, so may as well give it a shot. May not be as good as when there's no moon, but it's not too bad. And the moon will set around midnight, I believe. Anyways, once this is done, I'm gonna set up the stuff for the Orion Nebula. I'd really like to show off my gear a bit, but of course it's dark and I haven't been able to afford lighting yet. But this is my workbench. My Lenovo ThinkPad
T520.
Which, if you're looking for a laptop for astrophotography, this is the best laptop you could possibly get. These things are brilliant, and I picked this up for 200 bucks off eBay, although it's from Quebec, so all of the keys are in French. Alright, so I'm getting exposures done on the Orion Nebula. I decided to settle on for the night, and it may be a bit excessive, but I wanted to make sure I had plenty of data. I am doing 20 15-second exposures at 800 ISO. These are all at 800 ISO. 20 30-second exposures, 40 90-second exposures, and 20 300-second exposures. Because I really want to get all that detail from the core to the outer dust region. And hope this turns out better than last time. Actually, to be honest, the last one did turn out quite nicely, but it just had some wonky stars on it. The scope is tracking nicely, even though you can't see it because it's pitch black. But, yeah. Good night. Good night so far. Yeah, so things are going pretty well. And we're back to spooky me because I don't have proper lighting. Anyways, a little while ago when I first started imaging, I did have an interesting run-in with a group of people going to a pub. Let's just say I live in a rather unique area, so you do get plenty of characters. I'm looking at the screen and it looks like my eyes are just black holes of death and doom. Really need to get better at this whole... See, there's my eyes. Alright, we just had a bank of clouds come by, but it has cleared, so I am imaging again. Everything is looking good, so thought I would use my camping propane stove to make some noodles, because it's about actually, what's the temperature out right now? It is 4 degrees. But I'm a Winnipegger, so I don't know if you can hear it, but there's this car that someone started. And it is literally, I think, the most broken sounding car I have ever heard in my life. And trust me, I've had some pretty beat up cars.
As I got later into the night, I began to grow cold and my energy to do any further recording on, vlog stuff disappeared. Nevertheless, the first night had been a very good learning experience to get things like the guiding sorted out, some fine-tuning, and the second night I got some data that I think made my best image to date.
These outings were after quite a long stretch of cloudy weather. Of course, this was just after I finally got my rig all set up. I had a few outings before that stretch where there was some kingside work out with guiding and dew problems, because I wasn't going into this, I wasn't sure whether with Newtonians you needed dew heaters because you got such a big tube, but I found out that yes, you do need dew heaters, so I put some on. But now that I think I'm getting decent at acquisition, my main focus now is processing, because until now I haven't really been able to get into processing too much because I haven't had a whole lot of usable data to use. But now I do, and I think I'm getting the hang of it. Obviously, I know that the be-all and end-all of astrophotography processing is PixInsight, but for now I'm pretty happy just using Photoshop, and that's where I'm going to stay for now. But without further ado, here is the product of tonight's labor, bread not included.
But wait, there's more. While I was waiting for Orion to reach at least 25 degrees in the sky, I decided to slew the telescope over to Betelgeuse, considering the interesting dimming events that have been happening recently. At the time the image was taken, it was down to about magnitude 1.5. Although, keep in mind, this is a stacked image that has been lightly processed, so it's not really a good indicator as far as its brightness goes.